Are you prepared for any disaster that might strike? It's a question that might cause a moment's pause, a furrowed brow, and perhaps a quick mental inventory of your home's emergency supplies. But, let's face it, for most of us, the answer is probably no. And that's exactly what we're here to change today. Disaster preparedness is not about living in fear. It's about living with awareness, preparedness, and the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've done everything you can to protect yourself and your loved ones. Today, we're going to share with you a top 7 list for disaster preparedness. 7 essential steps that can make all the difference when the unexpected happens. From developing a family emergency plan to learning basic CPR and first aid, these are the actions that can turn chaos into calm, uncertainty into understanding, and fear into fortitude. So, are you ready to be ready for anything? Let's dive into our checklist. Starting with number 1, develop a family emergency plan. This is the foundation of any disaster preparedness checklist. It's crucial to understand that a family emergency plan is more than just a paper document. It's a living, breathing strategy that adjusts to your family's changing needs. It's about knowing your home's evacuation routes and having a predetermined meeting point in case you're separated during an emergency. It's about understanding everyone's role in an emergency, from the youngest to the oldest, ensuring that everyone knows what to do, where to go, and who to contact. It's about regular drills, so that if an emergency strikes, the plan springs into action almost instinctively. It's about communication, coordination, and above all, care for each other. Preparing in advance gives you the peace of mind that you're ready to face any unforeseen challenge that comes your way. Remember, a well-prepared family is a safe family. Scene script. Moving on to number 2, assemble an emergency contact list. In the midst of a crisis, time is of the essence. Having a comprehensive emergency contact list at your fingertips can be a game changer. This list should include the phone numbers and addresses of family members, healthcare providers, and emergency services. Consider including trusted neighbors, your children's school, your workplace, and other important locations. Don't forget about any specific medical conditions or allergies in your family. Including the contact information for specialists, pharmacies, or medical facilities could be crucial, but creating this list is just the first step. This invaluable resource should be easily accessible. Consider multiple copies, one for your home, one in your car, and a digital version on your phone. And remember, everyone in your family should know where to find this list and how to use it. Keep this list accessible and make sure everyone knows where to find it. Next up at number 3, stock up on essential medications. Imagine this, a disaster has struck and you're cut off from the world. You have food, water, and shelter, but someone in your family needs their medication. You reach for it, but the bottle's empty. Not a situation you want to find yourself in, right? This is why having a well-stocked supply of essential medications is so crucial. If you or a loved one has a chronic illness that requires regular medication, make sure you have at least a 2-week supply on hand at all times. It's not just prescription drugs though. Over-the-counter meds like pain relievers, antacids, and allergy medicines can also be lifesavers in a pinch. And remember, medications have expiration dates. Regularly check your stock and replace any medicines that are about to expire. It's all about being prepared. After all, health is wealth, even more so during emergencies. At number 4, we have secure important documents. Now let's face it, when disaster strikes, the last thing on your mind may be where you've stashed away your passport or birth certificate. But trust me, having these crucial documents secured and readily accessible can provide a lifeline in chaotic times. Think about it. These documents establish your identity, your citizenship, and can be essential in procuring services and aid. So, how do you keep them safe, yet within reach? Consider investing in a waterproof and fireproof safe. It's a small price to pay for the peace of mind it brings. Or if you're tech-savvy, opt for digitizing your documents. Scan them and save them on a secure cloud storage system. Remember though, to always have a backup of these digital files. In the digital age, even disasters can't erase your identity if you're prepared. In times of chaos, having your documents ready can save you a lot of trouble. Halfway through our list at number 5, create a 72-hour emergency kit. Now what exactly does this mean? Well, it's a collection of essential items that your family may need to survive for 72 hours after a disaster. The first thing to consider is food and water. Stash away a 3-day supply of non-perishable food items that require minimal preparation. Think canned goods, granola bars, and instant meals. Remember, you'll need a manual can opener if you're including canned food. As for water, you'll want to have 1 gallon per person per day, which totals to 3 gallons per person for 72 hours. Next, let's talk about first aid supplies. This should include a basic first aid kit with bandages, antibiotic ointment, over-the-counter pain relievers, and any prescription medications you or your family members might need. It's also a good idea to include a spare pair of glasses or contact lenses if you rely on them. Now, onto some essential tools. You'll want a flashlight and extra batteries, a multi-tool with a knife and can opener, and a whistle to signal for help. Don't forget about sanitation. Pack some moist towelettes, garbage bags, and plastic ties for personal cleanliness. Other items to consider are local maps, a battery-powered or hand-crank radio, and a cell phone with chargers or a solar charger. Cash, including small bills and coins, can also be handy if ATMs and credit card machines are down. Also, don't forget about your furry friends. If you have pets, include pet food and extra water for them in your kit. Remember that each family's 72-hour emergency kit will look a little different, depending on your specific needs. The key is to think ahead and prepare for various scenarios. Make a checklist, gather your supplies, and store them in a cool, dry place. This might seem like a daunting task, but start small and add items as you go along. Even a partially completed kit is better than none at all. A 72-hour kit can make a world of difference when disaster strikes. So don't wait until it's too late. Start assembling your kit today. Moving forward to number 6, safeguard your home against disasters. Now, this isn't just about shoring up your castle walls. It's about arming it with the necessary defenses against the common threats in your area. Live in a flood-prone region? Consider flood-proofing your home. This could involve installing water barriers, using water-resistant materials, or even elevating your home if it's feasible. Residing in quake country? Earthquake-proofing is crucial. Reinforce your home's structure, secure heavy items, and ensure your home meets the seismic standards. In fire-prone areas, fireproofing is a must. Use fire-resistant materials in construction, clear away flammable vegetation from your property, and make sure smoke detectors are functioning well. Regardless of where you live, getting a professional home inspection for potential risks is a wise step. They can provide tailored advice to fortify your home against local disasters. Remember, your home is your fortress. Make sure it can stand against disasters. Finally, at number 7, learn basic CPR and first aid. Picture this. You are at the epicenter of an emergency situation. Someone around you is hurt, perhaps a loved one, and professional medical assistance is not immediately available. You're not helpless though, because you have prepared for this moment by learning basic CPR and first aid. These skills are priceless when seconds count. Basic first aid knowledge can be the difference between a minor injury and a serious one. It goes beyond just bandaging a wound. It's about knowing how to appropriately respond to burns, fractures, and other injuries that could potentially happen during a disaster. But what about when things get even more serious? That's where CPR comes in. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, known as CPR, is a life-saving technique used when someone's heart stops beating. This could happen for a variety of reasons, such as drowning, suffocation, or a heart attack. This skill is not just for health professionals. Anyone can learn it, and everyone should. Remember, these techniques are not meant to replace professional medical care. They're meant to bridge the gap, to keep a person stable until help arrives. You're not trying to play doctor, you're just trying to keep someone alive long enough for the doctors to do their job. So how do you learn these skills? Well, there are many organizations that offer training, like the Red Cross or St. John Ambulance. They provide courses that are accessible, affordable, and designed for people of all skill levels. There are even online resources available if attending a class in person isn't feasible. The bottom line? Learning basic CPR and first aid is a crucial part of any disaster preparedness plan. It empowers you to take action in the face of adversity, to stand tall when others might panic. It's not just about saving lives, it's about being a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. In times of disaster, being able to administer first aid can make you a hero. And there you have it, the top 7 list for disaster preparedness. We've journeyed together through the crucial steps to ensure you and your family are ready for anything. We started by developing a family emergency plan, a blueprint for how to respond during a crisis. We then assembled an emergency contact list, our lifeline to the outside world during a disaster. We talked about stocking up on essential medications, those vital tools that can mean the difference between life and death in an emergency. We explored securing important documents, preserving the legal and personal records that define our lives. We delved into creating a 72-hour emergency kit, a vital resource for surviving the immediate aftermath of a disaster. We discussed safeguarding your home against disasters, fortifying our safe havens against the unexpected. And finally, we learned basic CPR and first aid, skills that can save lives when every second counts. Remember, it's better to be ready than sorry. Start your disaster preparedness today and be ready for anything.